Matt from Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio. Welcome back to another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Okay, what we have here is a built-in Jenn-Air Cooktop. The customer's complaint is the second the unit is plugged in, all the burners are sparking and all the switches are in the off position, which would be the first thing that you would want to check. So we'll unplug it. Basically, it's going to be caused by one of two things. Either one of the burner switches is shorted out, so it's actually sticking closed and not opening up, or there could be something going on with the actual spark module itself. So what we're going to actually have to do is pull the unit and individually ohm out each of the burner switches to see if one of them is actually stuck closed. If that's the case, then we'll replace the switch. Otherwise, if they all check okay, then we're going to replace the spark module. Okay, well, so far what we've done, the unit was just siliconed in around the edges here, so we had to get underneath it and just sort of push up to break the seal on the silicone, and just lifted it straight out. Just want to be careful of the gas line when you're lifting it out. So once we got it out, we'll be able to remove all the screws and lift the top off to get some access to the switches. We'll go ahead and remove the knobs. Get our grates out of the way here. Our burner caps. Now we're going to remove the burner caps. There's 2 Torx screws on the top of each one. Sometimes they will become really corroded and snap off on occasion. So sometimes you might have to drill out the head of the bit and actually replace the whole burner assembly on these, but these are all coming out pretty easily. It's not a very old unit. Without each individual, disconnect your spark module. You're just going to lift your burner out. Remove your spark module. And now we're going to have just 2 1/4" screws at the very top. What we're going to do is just go ahead and lift the cover off. There is some double-sided tape on the front corners here that you got to sort of pry off. We're going to start with the burner switches, ohming them out. Go ahead and open it up, or lift it up. Remove your 2 wires that are going into it. Set it back down on the valve. That way you know that that's supposed to be your off position. Seat it completely on there. And it should have an open circuit at this point. It's reading open. So this switch should be good. Now we're going to run through and do each of the other individual switches the same way and check to see if we find one that's stuck closed. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go check the middle one here. Final switch we're going to check is right over here. So we are looking at a spark module issue. Well, we have gone through and we've ohmed out each individual switch and they all checked out okay. So there's going to have to be some type of a short in the spark module itself. So we're going to remove the 2 screws that cover the spark module. And usually the easiest way for a replacement is just set the other one right on top. Take your wires off and move them right to the new one. Wires that go to the electrodes switched out. And now we just got 1 main Molex connector. It's in the back. Pull that out. You got 1 1/4" screw in the front here, another 1/4" in the back. So what you can do is take your 1 1/4" out of the back completely. Just wiggle the igniter back. Slide your new one under the front screw. Put your back mounting screw in. connector back on, and we'll go ahead and test it out. Okay, well, now that we've got the igniter replaced, we're going to go ahead and plug it in, test it out. And we've got no sparking, so there was an issue internally on the spark module. Okay, we're going to go ahead and, well, we unplugged it again, obviously, and we're going to go ahead and put the cover back on. Okay, now we're just going to want to make sure all your electrode wires are in the holes where they need to be. Make sure they didn't pull free. Do a quick double check, make sure all your burner switches are seated down in position. And we're going to go ahead and put the cover back on. What you're going to need to do is feed the wires up individually. What you can do is just hook the burner up if you don't want it to pull back through. We're just going to go ahead and hook all the rest of the switches up. Okay, you got right at the very bottom a very small tab. You can barely see it, but that's what has to be depressed. And it goes into the hole right there. But that's what locks it in place. Just go ahead and set it right down into place. You're going to make sure you're not smashing your wiring when you're putting it down. You don't want to have your wires get smashed in between the burners. That can cause it to arc out, and then your spark won't actually follow all the way up through to your spark igniter. It'll actually short out to the cabinet. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the screws back in the burner caps. You don't really want to over tighten these, so make sure you set your torque setting on your drill to a lighter setting. That way they're not too hard to get them off the next time if you have to do any other repairs on it. We're just going to put our knobs back on. We're going to go ahead and put the 2¼ inch screws on the front side here. Thank you for watching another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com.